Hey survivors, we're still here. Week 2, GradStats University of Cincinnati. This is the very last one, and it's just to apply some of the concepts we've learned. So here's a study. Breakfast cereal keeps girls slim. Imagine you have this as a headline of a news piece, all right? So note that the headline here is establishing a causal relationship between eating breakfast cereal and keeping slim. Now let's read a little bit of the report. Girls who ate breakfast of any type had a lower average body mass index, a common obesity gauge, than those who said they didn't. The index was even lower for girls who said they ate cereal for breakfast, according to the findings of the study conducted by the Maryland Medical Research Institute with funding from the National Institutes of Health and cereal maker General Mills. The results were gleaned from a larger NIH survey of 2,379 girls in California, Ohio, and Maryland who were tracked between the ages of 9 and 19. As part of the survey, the girls were asked once a year what they had eaten during the previous 3 days. We can review so many things here. So let's start from the top. The variable of interest, the variable to be explained, the outcome variable or the response variable is, if you thought the average body mass index, you're right. That's the thing I want to explain. I want to know whether eating breakfast explains the body mass index of these girls. And the body mass index is a variable that's measuring a concept, which is obesity. We're interested in obesity. How do we measure obesity? How do we quantify it? Body mass index is the variable used to quantify that. What type of variable is it? Remember, that's a ratio of height and weight. If you thought continuous, numerical and continuous, you're absolutely right. Now, the finding was that the index was lower for girls who said they ate cereal for breakfast. Now, is this sufficient for me to write that headline? Remember, that headline is giving me a causal link between breakfast cereal, an explanatory variable, and the slimness or the obesity of girls measured by the body mass index, the response variable. The breakfast cereal here, by the way, is also a variable and it can be classified. It's a nominal variable. Either you ate or you didn't, right? So is the result, given what we know about what the study was, sufficient for this headline, to support this headline, or is the headline misleading? So to answer this question, you have to consider what type of study that is. If you thought observational study, you are right. And the reason you're right, it's because nobody introduced any diet to any of the girls, right? They simply, oh my gosh, I switched to Portuguese here. They were simply asked every year, once a year, from the age of 9 to 19, hey, what have you eaten during the previous 3 days for breakfast? All right, so they could divide the girls into girls that had eaten breakfast or cereal in the past 3 days that year and girls that hadn't eaten and compare their body mass index, right? So it's an observational study. I did not make them, the researcher did not make them eat anything. It's not an experiment. It is an observational study. And observational studies can only, the only inference that we can make is about relationship between variables, not causality between variables, right? How generalizable is this study? What's the population of interest here? So we have girls from 9 to 19, so young girls in the United States, right? So you have 3 states in different regions of the United States. So you can say, a large enough sample. Hopefully the distribution of girls based on ethnicity, socioeconomic status, if we assume that all of this is reasonable, then, it's a good generalization, but we can't make causal inference, right? Given that we can't make causal inference, try to come up with 3 possible explanations for the findings, if not that breakfast keeps girls slim. So one could be that girls that eat breakfast also do other things like exercise. It could be that girls that eat breakfast have other healthy lifestyles related to body loss, to maintenance of healthy body weights. For example, a pattern of sleep that is adequate. You wake up early enough to eat breakfast. So you sleep early enough. What else? People that eat breakfast also eat other healthy stuff, right? So, and the list can go on, right? So you're not keeping the 2 groups equivalent with respect to all of these other things, and then only varying the factor of interest, which is the breakfast and what they eat for breakfast. So remember, the causal direction could be opposite too. I forgot to mention that. So you could have all of these confounding variables, but it could also be the case that girls that have lower BMI are more inclined to eat breakfast than girls that have higher BMI, which I'm not sure that direction makes a lot of sense, but in principle, it could happen. But confounding variables for sure could be sitting in that relationship. And it's particularly when you read that the supporter of the research, cereal maker General Mills, is supporting the research that concludes that cereal is good for something, you have to, Portuguese, we have an expression to this, but keep alert. All right? Little joke to end. We can discuss it if you happen to not get it. It's a stats joke. I used to think that correlation implied causation. Then I took a statistics class and now I don't. Causal inference. Sounds like the class helped. Well, maybe. All right. Thank you for listening and thank you for hanging in there. Watch out for the lab 2 video where I'll quickly go over how the lab is going to happen this week. And you're set to go. Bye-bye.